you? Good. I am happy to see you today. Today we're going to read a fun story about friendship. Friendship. So I want you to think in your head, who are some of your friends? Why are they your good friends? What do they do that makes them a good friend? And we're going to talk about a main character in our book today. Gets really, really sick. He's like, achoo, achoo, achoo. Doesn't feel too good. And we're going to see what some of his friends did to make him feel better. So I want you to think in your brains. I want you to think of a time that you were sick. How did you feel? Take a second, think about it. And we're going to use the sentence starter to answer. I felt blank. So if someone asked Miss S, tell me a time how you felt when you were sick. I felt very sad. I felt sweaty, right? Sometimes when we're sick, we're sweaty. I want you to think of a word that describes how you felt when you were sick. So take a minute, think about it. How did you feel when you were sick? And we're going to use the sentence frame, I felt blank. I felt blank. Who has a word that they can tell me? How did you feel when you were sick? Upset. That's a good word. I felt upset, right? I felt sick. Yeah, you feel sick. These are all great answers. So continue to think about this and tell somebody near you, I felt blank when you were sick. How did you feel? Okay. And then a question that also we're going to answer by the end of the story, after we read our story, is what made you feel better? Okay. Sometimes when we're sick, it's hard to feel better, but sometimes there are people or there are things that make us feel better. Okay, so when we're done at the end, the sentence frame we're going to use is blank made me feel better when I was sick. Okay, maybe medicine. Medicine made me feel better when I was sick. Okay, so the story we are going to read today is called, I had it open here, A Sick Day for Amos McGee. Okay, a sick day for Amos McGee. Sometimes when we're really sick, we don't feel good, we can't go to school, we can't go to work if you're a big person. So let's see what happens. Let me share my screen with you. Again, while I'm pulling this up, you're thinking, what made you feel better? Okay, what made you feel better? Here we go. Using our favorite website, books.
A Sick Day for Amos McGee. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he'd amble out the door. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus.
Next stop, City Zoo.
The bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move. Run races with the tortoise, who never ever lost. Sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy. Lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. One day, Amos awoke with the sniffles and the sneezes and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back again, and said, I don't think I'll be going to work today. Meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged his pawns and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently, all by himself. The rhinoceros worried that his allergies were worsening. The owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. Where is Amos? The animals wondered. Later that day, hooray! My good friends are here. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. I'm too tired to run races today, said Amos to the tortoise. Let's play hide and seek instead. The tortoise hid inside his shell. Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. I could use a nap. The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. Achoo! Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you, said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea. Amos wound his alarm clock. It's getting late, he said. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. So Amos said good night to the elephant. And good night to the tortoise. And good night to the penguin. And good night to the rhinoceros. And good night to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light.
So, who liked that book? It was so good, right? So I want to see if you were listening, friends. So I have a couple questions to check in on you. Okay, couple comprehension questions. If you were listening, maybe you saw me up in the corner and I was trying to give you hints to really listen and remember. Okay, first question. Who was listening? What number was on the bus? What number was on the bus that they took? Who knows? And remember, friends, we don't just give one-word answers. We use complete sentences. So the number on the bus was 5. The number on the bus was 5. If you got that right, go ahead and give me a high 5. Very good. Okay, next question. What time did Amos catch the bus? Right, he got up, he ate his oatmeal, he drank his tea. What time did he catch the bus? What time did he get on the bus? Thinking about it. Okay. Amos got on the bus at 6 a.m. If you said 6 a.m., go, yes. Very good. Okay, and then I want to know, what animals did you meet in the story? And what did Amos do with them? So I know one. I know the elephant and Amos like to play chess. Okay. I saw the rhinoceros. I saw an owl. I saw a penguin. What did Amos do with them? Here are some quick comprehension questions. Okay, if you were listening, you should be able to answer them. Okay, Amos wasn't feeling good. What did his friends do for him? What did they do for him? I'm reading some minds. They went over to make him feel better. Great answer. Very good. They all went over to Amos's house to make him feel better. Because good friends make you feel better, right? And that's what good friends do. And Amos's friends were good. And Amos would take care of them when they were sick, right? So that's really great. And this is a story of friendship, right? So I want you to think in your head before we end today, there's a couple things you can do. You can tell somebody about this story, what it was about, right? We give a summary, what it was about. We remember our 5 W's, the who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes an H, a how, right? Our setting, our characters, the problem, solution, right? So think about that in your head. And for any of the parents and guardians watching, there are a few things that you can do if you want to extend this story. Reread it with them, ask them questions, and some activities you can do. So I'm going to share my screen with some lesson plan activities for you. So let me just pull these up. Nope, I want this one. Sorry. Okay, let me make sure this is on my screen. I hope this is sharing right now. So here are some activity ideas. Okay, we talked about retelling. It's a big skill for any elementary student to be able to tell the beginning, middle, and end of a story. Okay, so we want to practice that with any book that we read. This is a really fun one, especially for the second graders who have started telling time, right? And they're looking at the clock. You want to ask your child what time they go to bed at night. Okay, have them write that down. Practice writing with the hour, the colon, and the minutes, what time they get up in the morning and what time they go to school. If we were on a normal schedule, I want you to think about these things. And if you want, you can make a clock out of a paper plate. This is really fun. This will help do a couple things. This helps get them in a schedule so they know what time they're going to bed, what time they're getting up in the morning, what time they go to school. It's also helping with their math skills, telling time. So this is really a great idea if you can do that. What else? I asked you some discussion questions and comprehension questions. You can ask them again. And since we're working on oral language and development, the first part that you might want to do is ask your child to draw a picture of all the characters that they saw, or maybe all of the things they did for Amos, right? When he was sick and they kind of threw him a party, okay? And if you really want to go after this, you draw the picture. You can write something, write some words. If your child knows how to write elephant, they want to sound it out, let them write elephant. Let them label some of the animals that they saw. They can always put a sentence, okay? They can always put a sentence starter at the bottom of that picture. And I would love to see some of these, okay? So you can always take a picture of them, send them to me, and maybe I can make a collage of some of the pictures. That would be really cool. So these are just some discussion ideas. And then the most important, what did you learn about friendship from a sick day for Amos McGee? So I'm going to go back to our closing question today. Okay, let me come off of share. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what made you feel better when you were sick? So in the story that we just read, Amos felt so much better because his friends took good care of him. He had good friends. They helped keep him warm. They brought him some tissues. When he sneezed, they helped make him some tea, all of those things. So what made you feel better? Blank made me feel better when I was sick. This is the sentence frame I want you to practice. Again, you can always draw a picture of before when you're sick And then when you start to feel better, and if you can't write out the sentence, you can draw me a picture. What made you feel better? Okay, if you were sick, what made you feel better? Soup usually makes me feel better. Sometimes medicine makes me feel better when I'm sick. And sometimes my family and my friends make me feel better because they try to take care of me, right? And they care. So these are some ideas. You can always draw them out, but I definitely want you to practice saying this. Blank made me feel better when I was sick. Okay? So that's our lesson today about friendship, about being sick. There's a lot of great literacy connections in this story. Remember to retell it, to give a summary. Make sure you tell me about the problem and the solution. And those comprehension questions are really important, so I'm going to bring them up one more time. I know you are listening to this story if you can tell me what number was on the bus, because every day Amos got on the same number bus. Okay, what time did Amos get on the bus? This helps with our routines. And it goes back to, what time do you get up? What time do you go to bed? What time do you go to school? And again, some of the characters that you met, and what are some of the things that they did with Amos at the zoo? And what are some of the things that the animals did for Amos when he was sick? These are all important questions, and they all kind of build to make sure you understood. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's read aloud. I hope you go and practice what made you feel better when you were sick. And I will see you next time.